For the 76ers, Carter Williams and Jay Rich in the backcourt. And standing 6'11" out of Kentucky, the explosive shot blocker, Nerlens Noel, locking down the middle. What a tremendous talent, getting ready for his first NBA appearance. Then it's Evan Turner, and it's Young in at power forward. And for the Rockets, and in the backcourt, Jeremy Lin along with James Harden. And it's center, the most dominant physical presence in the NBA, the elite defensive big man, Dwight Howard. Then there's Chandler Parsons, and it's Asik in at the 4 slot. And the free throw, no good.
Well, there's a new ownership group in Philadelphia as of 2011, and in this offseason, they pulled the trigger and brought in new leadership in the front office. Looks like they're jumping on the analytics bandwagon, hiring the former brain trust of the Houston Rockets.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
I was able to catch up with the head coach of the 76ers. He said he certainly followed the rise of Jeremy Lin into a prime-time point guard in this league, and he told me we need to try to limit his penetration. That's where he's most effective, slashing and with the drive and kick. Guys, Lin has certainly been working to improve his outside shot, but sometimes you have to pick your poison, and they'll live with him shooting from outside. Back to you.
And thanks for that story, Doris. Richardson kicks to Turner. Stolen by Jeremy Lin. All alone. Hammers it down off the coast-to-coast plate.
Terrible transition defense there.
I think it would have been pointless, Steve. There was no way anybody was beating him to the basket there.
And there's a minute 45 left to play here in the first. And back to the Sixers. I guess for the Wall Street ownership group, going mathematical is something they were, Steve, pretty comfortable with.
That's something that a lot of teams are going to now, Kevin. The new owners, a lot of them businessmen, they want to turn to math to try to figure this whole thing out. Bottom line, though, is it's a combination. It's not just stats. It's talent, stats, chemistry, coaching, a lot of things that goes into winning.
Here's Lin. Thaddeus Young picking up that last basket. Harden inside the three-point line. Another miss by Harden.
He got the shot he wanted off that pick, just couldn't get it to fall.
But, Steve, they'll take that play all day long, 10 times out of 10. That was good action.
Richardson dishes to Carter Williams. He feeds it to Young. Richardson. Young sets a screen for Richardson. 6 to shoot. Turner fires. Again, Philadelphia.
Boy, that was a rugged screen set there, fellas, and the defense didn't even try to go through that.
And he lobs it up toward the rim. And as it goes out of bounds, Houston able to keep the ball. And Philadelphia will go for a different look here. Spencer Hawes is checked in for Noel. Arnett Moultrie comes in for Thaddeus Young. Royce White's checked in for Evan Turner. And it's James Anderson in for Jason Richardson. And just under 2.5 minutes elapsed here in the first. Here's Monty Eunice. Off target from three-point range. 76ers have gone 4 of 5 from the field so far. Right side, White. Now the pass to Carter Williams. And that's out of bounds. Philadelphia will retain possession. There's 14 seconds left in the first quarter. Shot clock at 2. Anderson can't get it to go. Now Harden. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. The Rockets shooting their first free throw of the game here. That free throw good from Harden. Here's Carter Williams. 1 quarter in the books, and it's been a close one so far. Philadelphia ahead. They're up by 3. Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And guys, what's your take on the 76ers so far?
So difficult to get a shot off against this defense. They are really playing hard.
Yeah, they're playing hard, and they pride themselves on making it tough for their opponents.
Here's Harden. The 18-footer is right on the mark. Harden's got the first basket of the second quarter for the Rockets.
Well, James Harden, clearly one of the most potent offensive threats in the game. Can do it all. Pass, shoot with range, get to the rim. He led the league in free throw attempts last season with over 10 a game.
Carter Williams, the pass to Hart. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two. And Clark, you mentioned Harden. Great at drawing fouls. He stays low. He holds the ball low. And when he brings it up, if the defender reaches, he just guides his arms up under theirs to draw the contact. It's a very clever move.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of players over the years do it. Kevin Durant has done it. Tim Duncan before that. Going way back, Sam Perkins used to make that move. It's really a tricky play, and it's tough to guard, but when you perfect it offensively, it's really a weapon.
You know, if you're in a fight to get into the playoffs out west like the Rockets were last season, you have to make sure you get every win you can when you play against the Eastern Conference. Their success against the Eastern Conference was a big part of how they squeezed that 8th seed.
And Beverly kicks to Harden, and it's all evened up. Harden's got 5 points in the quarter.
Oh, he's explosive, Kevin. I mean, a lot of time, all it takes is a basket or two to really get his motor running. And suddenly he becomes almost impossible to handle.
And perhaps the best thing about him, Steve, is the way he takes charge down the stretch of close games. The higher the stakes, the better he plays.
And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Gentlemen, there are some analysts who call Nerlens Noel a savant shot blocker, but he also averaged over 2 steals a game at Kentucky last season. Offense is something he's still developing, however. Noel said, quote, "Every team is always going to have its given scores. Defense is something that's undervalued. It can change the whole game in significant ways." He knows his game, guys.
He certainly does, Doris. Thanks. Well, Clark, you were talking about the Rockets against the East, a record of 21-9 against the conference. And, Steve, it was one of the better marks in the West.
Yeah, it was the same win total as the Clippers and Thunder, who both won their divisions. So, only the Spurs and Grizzlies did better in that regard. And the Rockets were full of scoring potential, and I think just happened to catch teams in the East off guard a little bit.
Garcia goes in. The 76ers lead. And here is Carter Williams. Backing down is White. From the post. And it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. We'll shoot one more at the free throw line.
Boy, he just battled through that initial impact and somehow willed it in.
Excellent concentration. That's what you like to see.
Garcia with the ball. And Young picks him up defensively. Lynn kicks to Parsons. Clock at 6. A finger roll finish at the bucket. Parsons got his first 2 points.
Now the shots are starting to fall a little bit more than they did in the first quarter.
Yeah, they say it's not how you drive, it's how you arrive in golf. Well, a shaky start can be overcome because now they're starting to heat up.
White drives in and out of bounds as the Rockets gain possession.
Boy, just a brain cramp, guys. I mean, that should have been the simplest of exchanges.
Here's Lynn. With 1 on the clock, misses the layup.
The defense was ready for him that time, and they had to be. He is so powerful in the lane.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Welcome to halftime, fans. A close game going on out in Houston.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now.
Take a look at what Harden's been doing. He has 8 points, and from long range, he's hit 1 3-pointer.
Yeah, and you'd expect by the end of this game, I'm sure the numbers are going to look even better.
Well, you know, when you play against teams in the West, you need to have a solid front court or you're going to struggle. And last year, the Sixers thought they had the answer with Andrew Bynum, but he never played a game for them, so they really struggled against the West.
6 on the shot clock. For the lead. That's good. Harden's got the first field goal of the second half for Houston. The 76ers trail. And trouble it was for the 76ers against the West, Clark, as you were talking about. They would end up with just a 12-18 record against the conference. And many wondering, Steve, what could have been.
Well, in 12-18 isn't actually that bad considering, the state of the roster with the injuries and the new players. So I thought all in all, the 76ers fought hard most of the year, but they just didn't have enough in the tank.
Lynn's gone 1 of 4 from the field. And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Well, guys, for Dwight Howard, a perfect fit with head coach Kevin McHale. So often, head coaches are former point guards, but in McHale, a Hall of Fame power forward. Howard has a coach he can quite literally see eye to eye with. And McHale is one of the all-time great post-up scorers. And for Dwight Howard, he said that was the biggest reason for his decision to come to Houston, saying, quote, "I felt he could really help me develop in the post." Guys, back to you.
Don't see many great back-to-the-basket big men these days, boys. He's one of the best, certainly. And the 76ers decide to take their first time out here. Third quarter of basketball, about a minute and a half in.
Boy, you watch the way Parsons moves, and you see how quickly he's able to shift and change directions. And you forget that Chandler Parsons is 6'10", because he moves like a much smaller guy. He's a terrific all-around player.
Another miss by Philadelphia. Rockets leading by 3. Lynn dishes to Howard. Now here's Lynn, defended by Carter Williams. And back to Parsons. Clark, he talked about his mobility, a good defender too, and for a young player that's rare. So you look at his size, ability to move his feet, and the upside certainly is there. Then you put him with a guy like Kevin McHale as his coach, and nice array of talent. He's got a good situation.
He does. Got a bright future, and I'm most impressed with his defense. You talk about a lot of his skills, but Houston will frequently put him on the opponent's best wing offensive player. Good solid defense on the perimeter there, challenging the shot and not fouling.
Even the best shooters can be bothered by his defense.
6 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Lynn, Turner covering. Shot clock at 6. Howard with a screen on Turner. Here's Lynn. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. Now it's a 5-point Rocket lead.
Something we're seeing less and less of these days, that little finger roll.
Here's Turner. He got it up that time, but it wouldn't fall for him. And we've reached the end of the third. Rockets lead by 5. And right after that... And thanks for joining us again as the fourth quarter of play is set to get rolling. It's been a close battle to this point. And a chance to catch up on some numbers here. The scoring breakdown for Houston.
And their mid-range shooting continues to be accurate.
Another thing they've done tonight is work the ball into the paint for plenty of those close-range points. You got to have those.
Back to Anderson. Here's Hawes. Rejected by Howard. Now here's Lynn. Guarded by Hawes. Lynn kicks to Harden. Pass to Howard. Feeds to Lynn. Blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup. Lynn's got the first basket as we get going in the fourth for the Rockets. Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
The feed now to Hawes. Young outside. He kicks to Hawes. Lays out. Out of bounds. Houston takes possession.
Oh, they couldn't hook up there on what's really a pretty basic pass.
And Philadelphia making a change here. Rockets leading by 7. It's Harden with the drive. Passes it to Usher. Back to Harden. Up and in with the jumper near the hoop.
And they're beginning to fall apart a little bit defensively, especially inside.
Well, that's 4 straight buckets now at the rim.
Carter Williams kicks to Richardson. Gets it to go from beyond the arc.
I like the offensive awareness to exploit that lack of coverage on that play.
First minute and a half of basketball played here in the fourth quarter. Here's Beverly. Harden outside. Fires the three. The rebound by Turner.
You know, even though he missed that one, great shooters have a way of feeling when they've got enough room to pull the trigger.
Yeah, not enough defensive coverage there to prevent him from firing that time. But, yeah, I think if he's open, he's got to let that thing fly.
6 to shoot. And it's Howard finishing it off.
Boy, the pass there floated up to the precise spot where it needed to be.
And no messing around in the finish, huh? He powers it through.
Sure didn't waste any time there.
I'll tell you what, that is going to be an alley-oop we'll see on the highlight reel the next few days.
Harden with it, and Young picks him up defensively. Howard, and he bangs it home with one hand.
Well, this is going to seal the deal. They've really exploded here to the finish line.
You know, once they sniffed out that blood in the water, the killer instinct came right out.
And Philadelphia calls time here. They're behind by 10. There's 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Kevin, during that last break, I heard the 76ers coach as he addressed his team. He rallied the troops saying, nobody said it was going to be easy. They're not laying down. They're not going away. If we want this game, we have to take it from them. Kevin, plenty of fire in that speech.
You know, defensively, you cannot forget about him. He gave him a wide-open look there.
But they're this close to putting it away.
Yeah, and they don't need to do anything to reinvent the wheel here. I mean, just take time off the clock and squeeze the orange. Don't turn it over.
Montinas passes to Beverly from about 19 feet. And he nails that one right through the net.
And that puts a cherry on top, so to speak, of what's been a phenomenal showing for them.
All over but the whining now, Steve.
And it's Turner off the drive. Shoots from 12. Rebounded by Casper. Here's Beverly. So we see the Rockets get the win here. They came, they saw, they conquered.
Hey, Kevin, to me, any win is a